On July 15, 2016, Turkey witnessed the bloodiest coup attempt in its history. A group of rogue soldiers loyal to the Gülenist terror network launched a coordinated operation in several major cities to topple the government and oust President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Soldiers and tanks took to the streets and a number of explosions rang out in Ankara and Istanbul. Using the state's fighter jets, the coup pilots dropped bombs on their own parliament. They took the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Hulusi Akar, hostage. They killed their colleagues in uniform in the police by firing from jets at the Police Special Forces headquarters. The coup plotters stormed the Mediterranean seaside town of Marmaris, where the Turkish president and his family members were holidaying, to assassinate the president on the night of the failed coup. With the horrifying incidents happening one after the other, it seemed that Turkey was going to face an earth-shattering military coup on that day. But then came the unexpected. The Turkish president called on citizens to resist the coup and take to the streets across the country.
Ben şu anda ülkemin Cumhurbaşkanı olarak kurucusu olduğum partimin tüm mensupları, bunun yanında milli iradeyi oluşturan Cumhur'un kendisini özellikle şehirlerimizin meydanlarına davet ediyorum. Şehirlerimizin meydanlarında biz halkımızla el ele olacağız ve bu kalkışmayı yapanlara gereken dersi orada vereceğiz.
Then came the unprecedented response from the people of Turkey. The attempted coup crumbled after a mere few hours, leaving behind only its brutal legacy of violence. On that day, 250 citizens were martyred defending their country. Some 2,200 citizens were wounded, veterans in the struggle to save their country from falling into the hands of a bloodthirsty terrorist group. On the night of July 15, the people of Turkey wrote a glorious history. Heroic men and women stood tall against the coup plotters and defended their democracy, the rule of law and the sovereignty of their beloved country. The coup plot failed as thousands of ordinary citizens took to the streets of Turkey to resist in an extraordinary manner, one never seen in the history of the country and, for that matter, in the history of the world. It is, however, unfortunate that decisive global powers left these brave Turkish men and women alone in their fight to protect democracy, sovereignty and freedom from terrorists. From the outset, Western states were unforgivably late in condemning the bloodiest coup in the country's history. Germany's foreign minister, Sigmar Gabriel, recently admitted that his country had not shown sufficient solidarity with the people of Turkey in their struggle against the coup plotters. The West, supposed to protect human and democratic rights, failed the test on the night of July 15.
Bakınız o gece milletimiz canını hiçe sayarak demokrasiyi savunurken 10 yıllardır bize insan hakları, özgürlük ve demokrasi dersi verenler zamanı oynamış, bekle gör politikası izlemişlerdir.
The failed coup also exposed Western double standards when it comes to protecting democracy.
Bir defa Tiananmen meydanında tankların önüne dikilenleri taltif yağmuruna boğanlar, Kızılay Meydanı'nda, Şehitler Köprüsü'nde, Kazan'da ve daha birçok yerde yaşanan kahramanlık hikayelerini görmezden gelmişlerdir. Çıplak elleriyle tankları durduranlar, uçaklara, helikopterlere meydan okuyanlar, bu çevrelerce ademe mahkum edilmişlerdir.
Instead of supporting the Turkish nation in its fight against the coup plotters and their backers, the big powers concentrated on the measures taken by Turkey to protect itself from the putschists. Headlines across Western capitals portrayed the Turkish effort to save itself from murderers as an attack on journalism and a crackdown on innocent bureaucrats and their families. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan expressed his frustration on the post-coup American stance concerning the coup attempt.
Bu devlete teşekkür edeceğine, demokrasi adına teşekkür edeceğine, tam aksine darbecilerin yanında yer alıyoruz. Zaten darbeci senin ülkende. Darbeciyi senin ülkende zaten besliyorsunuz.
So far, the US has not been willing to extradite the terror group's ringleader, Fethullah Gulen, who resides in Pennsylvania in what can only be described as a shadowy retreat. The US is not alone in its confounding stance on a proven terror group. Germany is another prominent country that turned a blind eye to the Gulenist terror group's activities. Germany has granted political asylum and diplomatic passports to many Turkish military personnel linked to the Gulenist terror network. Greek support of members of the terror group is another clear indication of the West's attitude towards the July 15 coup in Turkey. Greece gave asylum to a group of Gulenist-linked coup soldiers who fled to its soil after their unsuccessful assassination attempt on the life of the Turkish president. Despite its full awareness of what happened in Turkey on the night of the 15th of July coup, the Greek government refused Turkish demands for the extradition of the coup plotters. For that matter, it is not only Greece, but all Western powers are well aware of the Gulenists' nefarious activities. It is beyond dispute that the failed July 15 coup was orchestrated by the Gulenist terror organization, an organized criminal network in the guise of a religious and philanthropic movement. The true character of the Gulenists is not hidden from the eyes of Western decision-makers. On October 31, 2016, a senior US State Department official said that the Gulenists were a criminal gang. One may wonder then why the West has allowed the dangerous group to continue its destructive activities on their soil, despite Turkey repeatedly warning against the danger posed by the network. One of the reasons for Western support of the Gulenists emerges from the West's long-term plan to reshape world order. The world for the last 3 decades has experienced great geopolitical transformation. The West embarked on the strategy of redesigning the world, especially the Middle East, in an attempt to preserve its long-held interests in the region. For this to happen, new actors were needed. The Gulenists fit the bill to a T. The group is an obsequious gang led by a sycophantic ringleader, ready to go to the extent of exterminating its own people in order to associate itself with those believed to decide the fate of the globe. The Gulenists' willingness to put group and personal interests ahead of regional or national interests in Turkey and the Middle East had been confirmed by the network's ringleader himself many years before the bloody coup in Turkey.
Aynen öyle. Orta Doğu'da, Orta Doğu'ya yakın yerlerde 20 devletin bölünme planından bahsediyorlar. Onu gelir gelmez arkadaşlara arz ettim. Bazıları bizi de merak ediyor. Acaba, o bana da geldi, acaba nerede duruyor bu mevzuda? Eğer şöyle böyle bizim çıkarlarımız da söz konusuysa, biz başkalarıyla bu meseleyi eşit seviyede paylaşarak bu meseleye iştirak ederiz. Evet deriz, böyle bir projemiz var ama fakat biz bu projede şu alternatif mülazaları teklif ediyoruz. Bunların da kabulünü istiyoruz.
While the West takes the Gulenists as an ally in the realization of its projects, the terror group has also worked hard to place itself as the prime candidate for the West. The Gulenists present themselves as a moderate transnational religious network. The Gulenists have a history of accusing opponents in the Muslim world of extremism and fundamentalism, an accusation that the Western master is eager to hear. The Gulenists wholeheartedly embraced their Western-appointed role as the high representatives of interfaith dialogue, a project which aimed not only to challenge the very Islamic ideals of religion and morality, but also adopt the Western understanding of history. The Gulenist leader once asked his followers to adopt the Christian religious narrative in place of their own traditions. He even preached to Muslims that they must accept colonization and occupation of their countries by others.
Haçlı'nın ülkenizi işgal etmesi çok tehlikeli değildir. Bir kere onlar sizin kadınınıza, kızınıza ilişmezler. Mabedinize ilişmezler. İlişmemiş Haçlılar.
Thus, interfaith dialogue represents a crucial part of the Western project of reform of Islam, and the Gulenists have been more than happy to oblige in return for Western patronage. The Western establishment, with its Islamophobic culture and rejection of Islam as a religion of tolerance capable of coexisting with the modern reality, has designed a project of creating a liberal and pro-dialogue version of Islam. This enabled the Gulenists to win the Islamophobic parts of the West in the name of interfaith and intercultural dialogue projects. Using the opportunity, the Gülenists presented themselves as the only brand of Islam compatible with Western moral codes and political interests. Now, following the brutal failed coup attempt unleashed by the Gülenists in Turkey, the world finally has a clear opportunity to see the network for what it is. The question remains, will they take that opportunity?